Well, I think that the program that made us the most revenue overall was Wife Swap. And Wife Swap it's an interesting story how that came about, because it came out of our development team, and we loved the title. We thought, it's a catchy title. It immediately raises a smile on people's faces. The problem came was when we started trying to cast the show. So Channel 4 commissioned 2 episodes to start with and said, we'll do these. And then if they work, we'll commission a longer run of 8 or 10, whatever. So we started trying to cast the show, and we found it incredibly difficult because when we were approaching people, and the concept, for those who don't know, with Wife Swap was you take 2 families who are very, very different, normally equal and opposite opposed, and the wives swap houses for 2 weeks. The first week, one wife runs the household under her rules, and then in the second week, that they swap places, and the second wife runs her house with her rules. So they live by other people's rules for a week, and then by their own rules for a week. And then at the end, they kind of get together and see what they've kind of learned. The problem was when we were casting was that people thought that they had to sleep with the other person's partner. So we had a lot of people saying, this sounds extremely dodgy. We don't want to go anywhere near it. Anyway, we were about to give up when there was a couple who lived very close to where I live in West London, agreed to kind of do it. So we ended up making one pilot. And that was the kind of lighting the blue touch paper, because once we had a proof of concept and we showed people that this was a kind of social experiment, not a kind of a sexual encounter, that's when people started to kind of understand it, and all the things that went with Wife Swap. There were so many layers to Wife Swap in terms of class, class being a big one, about attitudes to race, religion, all that kind of stuff. So it unpacked many, many things under the guise of this kind of format. And so that was what I would say Wife Swap was our greatest success. I would not necessarily made, I think the program that we made that I thought was the best was Faking It. It was interesting when Stephen Lambert came in, he made Faking It using a lot of directors he had worked with at the BBC. And it was the kind of first time that documentary directors were making factual entertainment formats. And that's why the shows looked so good, and they did really, really well. And it became a bit of a kind of calling card for us at RDF that, they were the guys that made Faking It. And it was a great series, I have to say. It's the thing I'm most proud of when I was at RDF, for sure.